and the players take the knee. Once again, English football sending the message out that Black Lives Matter and racists will not be tolerated. Strong message again sent out here. A really strong performance needed by Norwich City, basement in the Premier League, if they are to overcome Manchester United, seeking to equal the record number of FA Cup triumphs in the final at the start of August, and very much FA Cup favourites to win this on your old stamping ground, of course, where you got 16 league goals, I seem to remember, in a very good season there.
Yes, it's going to be extremely tough for Norwich City today, not in great form, even with the likes of Marcus Rashford, as we see there from the stands. United are a potent outfit right now, in fantastic form, so overwhelming favourites, you have to say. Norwich have got to play arguably the game of their season, I think, to come out on top tonight.
Luke Shaw, one of three to stay on the side, playing against Sheffield United in their last league game. There's Diego Dalot, who scored in the competition at Tranmere in the 6-0 win. Also, Maguire scored that day. And Phil Jones as well. It was a day for firsts for defenders. McTominay had a very good game here when Manchester United won in the league earlier this season, and they do have a very good record against Norwich City. McTominay, Rashford and Martial scored in that win, and United won 4-0 at Old Trafford. They've won 20 of the last 25 meetings between the two clubs. And Godfrey, an early touch for Timm Klose, who's only been on the winning side in league football 4 times this season, but was a real hero in the shootout at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Oh, he's a good goalkeeper. No doubts about that. In years of experience at Newcastle United. Quality performances showed us what he's capable of. That looks offside. Not going to get the ball anyway.
Too long from Mata.
Certainly not no hopers are Norwich City tonight. Extremely difficult, as we've always mentioned, as we've mentioned already. But cup football usually is supported with a fantastic atmosphere, isn't it? They're not blessed with that tonight, or their home play. So that's extra onus on them to create whatever kind of energy they can do to try and force the issue with United.
And Carrow Road was such a special place this season, and the fans played such a massive part when they beat Manchester City. And they beat Leicester City in the Premier League. Yeah,
I was at the Leicester City game, and the atmosphere was absolutely electric. Fantastic night of football it was. Leicester City weren't at their best. Norwich was superb that night. Really sucked all the energy that was buzzing around the Carrow Road Stadium that night. Taking a deserved victory.
That Norwich City formation, when they don't have the ball, very much a 4-5-1 with the Pukki alone up front. Just a couple of penalties for him in his last 14 games. And here's McTominay.
Yeah, they're one of those teams, though, Jonathan, who will break very quickly and freely when they do have the ball. Cantwell and Bundy in particular will need to get as far forward as they can and support Pukki quickly. That was a hallmark of some of their better performances and results early on in the campaign.
What a bench for Manchester United today. Pogba there, and Martial and Rashford, to name just 3. And Shaw getting forward and towards Jesse Lingard, who's had a really frustrating season. Not a good touch there by Fernandes, and Pukki nearly nipped in. His goals last season really took Norwich up. He hasn't scored a goal from 28 shots in free play in the league at Teemu Pukki. And it's another free kick here for Manchester United, and his team against Everton on Wednesday were undone by a set piece. He's a very affable coach. He's Daniel Farke.
He's stuck by his play. He's been pretty loyal, hasn't he?
And I think they'll stick by him, you know, even if they go down.
Absolutely.
It's a very well set up club behind the scenes now, Norwich. They've learnt from their previous yo-yo experiences when too much money was thrown away, And the club, of course, had a desolate financial future at one stage. It's not much sounder footing these days. And that's a good deception here. And he is certainly a creative talent, and he worked hard to get in that position. Came off the bench against Everton. I thought did well. I was here on Wednesday night, and such a surprise around the city when the team news came out, and Buendia and Cantwell and Pukki had all been dropped. Was he keeping his best team back for this? Surely you don't sacrifice Premier League football.
Well, ordinarily, that's not been the case, has it, throughout Premier League history? Certainly recent Premier League history, where coaches have tended to play their stronger sides, their best players, it's regarded as their number 1 11 if they can. Well, that's a flop, isn't it, from Maguire, and he's won the free kick.
Well,
I'm not sure what the officials saw there. Kenny McLean certainly didn't make much contact on the Manchester United centre back. Here we go, this will just confirm for us. Yeah, hands on, and then there's the dramatic back kick and flop forward. It didn't even look good, did it? But he got away with it.
He did. Eric Bailly off the high board. He's had a rough old time with injuries, hasn't he? He was runner-up in this competition, though he was on the bench a couple of years ago. He's only had the one league start in 2020. He was out until mid-February after his knee operation. There he is, though. Very important for United. He is back in the squad, but dispossessed by Cantwell. Pukki a little half touch on it, and Mata gets it back, and McTominay holding in the deep midfield role with Fred.
We're just showing one or two signs of rust as well. Eric Bailly too easily robbed on that far side. Timm Pukki wasn't able to control the set himself. It's good hustling from Cantwell, isn't it? Yeah, just trying a little bit too clever, just to roll the ball underneath his foot. Pukki's actually hardly muscled out of it by Maguire.
Pukki closing down on Bailly. Cantwell is probably Norwich's most saleable asset if they do have to part with one or two of their youngsters, if they do go down. Now here's Lingard turning, getting the shot away, and it deflects up off Alex Tettey and away for a corner kick.
As I mentioned, though, with a younger Jamal Lewis, as we were running the rule over the guards in the warm-up, I don't think a season in the Championship would harm Todd Cantwell too much at all. Another sign to mature, to progress a little bit as well.
He's only 22.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw, good season he's having. Looks for Maguire. And safe hands for Timm Klose, who's only kept 4 clean sheets in his 11 FA Cup ties as far as. Last quarter-final came against Manchester United back in 2018.
It's a hopeful ball, really, from Luke Shaw from the inside left position, really allowing Harry Maguire the opportunity to attack it because there was no pace on it.
You said Timm Klose, a good goalkeeper. He was very popular down at Brighton when he was in that side that went to the last 8, and he wanted first team football. That's why he moved on. It's Kenny McLean. Now Lewis, give and go with Cantwell, and he's got there, and he sets the chip up to the far post. Really want Buendia 5 for 8 in that position.
Yeah, Luke Shaw positioned himself well enough, and once again across to the player was just a little bit too high. And it's so much more difficult then to time your own and to get power onto the header.
Here's Ighalo. Now one Mata. Terrific record in the FA Cup, won it on a couple of occasions, scored in the final 2016. Dalot. And he parked his body in the way and gets a cross in. He had away. Tete swung a languid boot at it.
Not that Daniel Farke would ever admit it, Jonathan, but I'm convinced that he was saving those players you mentioned for today's game, knowing that league status is gone, really. It's, of course, mathematically it's possible they could win all of the remaining matches, but let's be honest, that's not going to happen. And I wouldn't blame him at all for trying to get the best out of them in 3 more matches, if possible. Today, a potential semi-final, and who knows, if you're a Norwich City fan, you might as well dream a day out at Wembley.
Well, if it is a forlorn league season, the new campaign starts so quickly after this one will finish, and to go out on a possible high of a Wembley appearance. You know, whether if they are in the Championship would buoy them, wouldn't it? Would boost them massively. The fans, I think.
Absolutely would, yeah. You know, the club has never been to the FA Cup final, so that would be a major step. A couple of semi-finals before, but just going one better would be some kind of consolation.
Good intent by Mata, but the ball was slightly too long for Luke Shaw. There's David De Gea once again on the substitutes bench for the FA Cup. Romero has been an ever-present and not conceded a goal in it this season. Buendia with the touchback. Shaw. For Ighalo. And here's Bruno Fernandes. And Cantwell quick to press. There's more of a spring in the step of Norwich today in the opening 10 minutes than there was in 90 minutes really against Everton.
Well, I've seen this in many a game, Jonathan, over the last, certainly not in the last couple of games, yes, but certainly before lockdown.
Lingard's come to the right hand side, now Mata. It's deflected away off Cantwell, and another corner kick then for Manchester United, who were on their best unbeaten run since November 16 to January 17. And they went 17 games without defeat. They're now 13 without a loss. And Lingard and Fernandes into the box, and Timm Klose got it away.
No matter how good you are, you need a reward for the hard work that you put in matches. The running, the defending, the tackling, some of the less glamorous part of the job as a professional player. And whether you're Liverpool or current champions, if you keep on playing well in patches, you don't get the results, don't get shots, the goals, etc., then confidence drains from you. So when you're at Norwich and you're not getting that, and then you're losing pretty much every week, that's very demoralising. These periods of positivity need to be rewarded with something. When they don't get them, opposition teams just become even more confident, knowing that that's the best that they can offer.
There's Lingard wriggling his way through. Did Canary and Green back there.
His own play's got in the way then, Jesse Lingard.
Out by Max Aarons, another one of these promising Norwich youngsters, came through the youth team ranks. He was in the Championship team of the season last season. He's tucked up there doing well with Ighalo. And now Shaw. And Bruno Fernandes hit Tete. The serving outfield player is Alex Tete.
And does never shine. Lining up for a shot. 25-30 yards out.
He needs to rediscover his best form, Jesse Lingard. Unfortunate here, really. Good slalom.
It was all pretty tight there. He's stretching in the end. McTominay's in close attendance. Mata and Ighalo even closer.
69% Manchester United possession in the opening 13 minutes of play.
I always felt it was going to be a problem the longer Jesse Lingard's career went on, is that he's not a specialist. You can't identify him as a striker, and don't identify him really as a wide player. He's not really a number 10, so when you're caught in between all three of those positions, very often you are somebody who will suffer when teams are not playing well enough and they're finding a way to get the best out of everybody. It's up to you to find, to define yourself and a role for you inside anybody's team.
Jamal Lewis, Luton-born Northern Ireland international. Cantwell, a chance here for Rupp, who had a rare start in the league against Everton, only a 6th league start. He went off, he didn't really do a great deal, the player signed from Hoffenheim.
That's good play from Ighalo. That's what he's especially good at later on in his career, is receiving the ball, backing into people, controlling it, allowing his teammates time to get up and support him. As the options are there, more often than not, he will hold the ball for you.
And he's looking for a second cup triumph this season, having won the cup with Shenhua before returning to English football in January. Here's Cantwell. Great start by him, and Lewis on the overlap. Left foot is his best foot. Poked it in and out by Harry Maguire. Mata with the touch.
Delayed Jamal Lewis. There weren't too many options actually in the box. He was just going to drive it on the angle back in towards Teemu Pukki.
Manchester United, very much the better side so far. You can see 35% of players been in the Norwich half. That's a dominant stat for the opening quarter of an hour of a match.
There's now the goalkeeper tested so far.
Romero's got to be the best number 2 in the Premier League, hasn't he? He's had 96 caps for Argentina. He's played in 2 World Cup finals, would have played in a third, but he was injured just before Russia 18. Slid up towards Ighalo and through towards Timm Klose.
Yeah, I do wonder why guys sometimes of his experience will sit around except being number 2 by some distance as well. And he could quite clearly get himself a decent club elsewhere.
He's played at decent clubs in his career before. He's at Sampdoria, won the league at Alkmaar. Cool, outside his box, had to clear it away. Last met in the FA Cup in the 4th round in 93-94. Manchester United won here 2-0 and then went on to win the trophy that season. They thrashed Chelsea in the final. They've won on 10 of their last 12 trips to Carrow Road in all competitions.
Yeah, it's always been a popular hunting ground for a team from Manchester.
Lovely club, Norwich City. Beautiful city in itself. If they get a chance, I thoroughly recommend a walk around the cathedral and the castle and down the River Wensum if the weather's right. I did that on Wednesday, a couple of hours. Here's McTominay. 0-0 in what was once the 2nd largest city in England. Did you know that? In Tudor times, second only to London. Did you want to know that?
I'm always grateful for a little bit more knowledge, JP. I'd imagine that the Romans probably had a settlement here, didn't they? I would imagine.
Here's Lingard. He went on not too far and away by Godfrey.
And the Vikings as well. Yes,
yep.
Very close to a city, close enough to the sea.
It was a mighty river, the River Wensum, at one stage. A one-off game, anything can happen. It is the FA Cup, and as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said before the game, it's a wonderful competition. It's given us some wonderful moments this season. Buendia on, and Cantwell sends Timm Klose away, and immediately Cantwell makes a beeline for the edge of the penalty area, and Jamal Lewis is coming in. This was headed away by Dalot.
It wasn't a bad ball, was it? Just over Cantwell, who made that run just inside the near post.
Very open early on the game. Here's Ighalo. Forced wide by Klose, who has to keep his feet.
And he couldn't. Yeah, just lost his footing, Ighalo. Does well, actually, to get the ball back off closer. Yeah, he did very well after slipping. Just trying to set himself, control the ball and bring it back inside.
United ball. Klose's looked a little bit undercooked since he came back in the game against Southampton, which they lost here badly. The first week of the return to football, he had a knee injury against Crawley in the League Cup very early on in the season and didn't return until that Southampton game, and has looked rusty in the 2 games they've played. McTominay, and here's Fred. Ighalo tried to tickle it away to Juan Mata. Good young player is the under-21 right back Max Aarons, the England under-21.
Yeah, they've got 2 promising fullbacks, haven't they, in Norwich City? But it's been on many an occasion far too many for their liking, and chasing the experience, because they found that coming into the big boy league, it's so much more about what you do going backwards as opposed to going forwards. They had not quite the run of the park in the Championship last season. They certainly were two of the better fullbacks, and they found this season that as well as they get forward, if things don't go well enough, they get punished so often going backwards.
Well, something of a rarity, a misplaced pass by Bruno Fernandes.
And that's why I say sometimes that even Norwich, it appears to me, are going to get relegated. So using that greater experience that they have learned, going back into the Championship and once again hopefully becoming a dominant force.
Cantwell, diligent, but it drops to Dalot. Diego Dalot swung his boot at it. That's a poor clearance away by Buendia. And, luckily for Norwich City, Lucas Rupp was alert to the possible danger.
Yeah, just to round them a little bit more, if they do spend another season in the Championship, as I said, and who knows, they could get promoted back up next season. Didn't do Jack Grealish any harm, I feel, for Aston Villa. He's come back a much more mature and polished player.
Rupp. It started against Everton, but he went off. He very rarely lasts 90 minutes. He's been sub 5 of his last 6 appearances. The man signed in January. Now Lewis. 20 minutes gone, 0-0. Not many of you would have seen this scoreline at this stage. Manchester United were red-hot favourites to win the tie. Fred, his best season for Manchester United. It's not saying much, to be fair. He was underwhelming in his first season from Shakhtar Donetsk.
It certainly took him time to settle. Big change, isn't it, coming from Donetsk and being Brazilian to begin with. It's a different part of Europe.
Here he is. And a good spell at Shakhtar, did Fred. Diego Dalot. Big expansive pass by Bruno Fernandes, spot on, excellent. Here's Luke Shaw and Fred won the cup with Shakhtar. Ighalo turned, and a touch on there by McTominay, straight through to Timm Klose.
They're just warming a little bit more to their task in the last 5 minutes, Man United. Slightly hopeful flick from Scott and McTominay. As it were, that Ighalo is somewhere there, but could easily been cut out. In truth, it actually got to him. Ighalo just tried to caress around with one touch, which he did, but a little bit too pacey.
0-0. Norwich with no form, Manchester United with all the cup pedigree, looking for their third semi-final in 5 years. And Norwich have a free kick here. Afternoon has turned out warm again after rather a dull start. Cloud just dipping momentarily in front of the sun there. And Romero on his toes. So we've got plenty of time as a goalkeeper. He's 33. 12 clean sheets in the FA Cup since he joined Manchester United. That's the best record in the country since then. Buendia with the free kick in.
Oh.
Max Aaron's little rush of blood to the head.
As he was lined up, I said, please not from that distance.
Last goal came December 2018 against Bristol City, Max Aaron's. And we have a drinks break, which is due midway through each half of every game, around about the 22.5-minute mark, but it has to be taken at a natural break. It's supposed to last a minute. They've all lasted longer than a minute, the games I've been at, and on many of occasions you're seeing them used as a sort of timeout for the managers to add a little bit of coaching. There's talk about this being extended through to next season. Would you like to see that, Evan?
One word, no.
Do you think it's a valid thing? They obviously expected red hot temperatures in every game, and they're playing so many games in a short period, but
Only thought as well with the players having an extended break with the heavy schedule between the first game back after lockdown and the 26th of July. I think we play our last league matches. It's a heavy pressure period. I understand that. A couple of games a week for everybody. So just to give them that little bit of an extra breather. So I get that. That's fair enough. But really, I don't think we have to have this in place for next campaign. In a tournament scenario, yes, why not? Especially if we've got extra temperatures. I mean, that would have been great in the World Cup in '94 in the US. It was quite warm. If you went there, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember we did an Ireland game down in Orlando, and when the Irish boys, I think it was John Aldrich, went to throw a water bottle out to a teammate because it was scorching temperatures, very humid down there, and the referee wouldn't let him.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And I can't remember who they were playing.
Jack Charlton was having a running argument with one of the officials as well. I think maybe an over water break, or just only trying to make a substitution as well. But it all got a little bit fraught, didn't it?
Yeah, it was the Dutch they were playing. There's Fred. 25 minutes gone. I wonder if the tempo of the game will now pick up after the water break. One shot by Norwich, 3 by Manchester United. We've not had a shot to test the goalkeeper yet. Has to be settled today. Replays at this stage of the competition, and there is an argument that there might not be replays at all next season.
I'm
so
in
much
favour of
football
that,
to pack in. You in favour of that?
Yes, I'm in favour of one off, one day. Let's get things finished, all done and dusted.
And Fernandez looks for Mata. He's crept further forward. And Mai slams it even further forward.
Well, I'd see a couple of changes to the FA Cup. To be honest, if I was in charge, I'd be quite radical. With the big boys coming in early on in the campaign, but being seeded and then playing away from home against lower league opposition to begin with.
As in Germany.
Yeah.
Pukki's hardly seen anything of the ball. Luke Shaw. I think he's having his best Manchester United season, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer certainly has managed him better than predecessors.
You're troublemaker now, aren't you, JP? He has played well. There's more belief in himself. Of course, playing on a regular basis every week, he's sharper.
That's a lovely ball attempted round the corner by Ighalo. Didn't go through to McTominay, but McTominay was making that sort of run through the old inside right channel in the league game here early on in the season. Great effect. Norwich at the moment can't keep hold of the ball.
United have been pretty good so far. One or two players have not quite found their feet. One Mata has been on the periphery of things, as is Jesse Lingard. You can tell the guys who are not seeing much game time, can't you? Especially in the final third. And you're taking chances and trying to make a difference. And your timing is not quite there. It's a little bit longer for you to actually get back up and running to anywhere close to full speed.
Cantwell. Interesting that McLean, when that throw came back to him, sort of shrugged his shoulders and exasperated look to suggest there was no movement up front. That didn't come through to Rupp, and Manchester United have it back again. Here's Mata. The referee says no foul. And Kenny McLean will go on, and he's got Cantwell to his left and Pukki to his right, and didn't need either of them, went for the goal.
Well, I certainly don't blame him for shooting Kenny McLean. That's a good opportunity. Big gap opened up. United looking for the foul on Juan Mata. Now he's taken, not quite cleanly by Emi Buendia, but certainly got the ball, some of the man, as United back line is backing away. He lines himself up. He's a good striker of the ball, but he certainly was not. That's way over the crossbar.
First FA Cup start for him today. Former Aberdeen player whose one goal this season was a famous one, came against Manchester City in the win. Here's Luke Shaw now to go a long, long way, and in the end Max Aarons did step in.
Half-hearted attempt at a cross in the end from Luke Shaw. He's looking for the cutback. Not firm enough, not angled enough to find a teammate. Option as well was just to smash the ball across the face of the goal. Norwich had plenty of players back.
Well, they defended zonally against the Everton corner kick that beat them on Wednesday. They hadn't learnt from a lesson earlier on when Michael Keane was found in space, and Maguire, another centre-half, is up from the back. And the header was over by Eric Bailly.
Yes, the Keane goal was a run that was unchecked. And even as he was making his leap towards the ball, not enough presence around him. Even if you can't make it, just make it extremely difficult for the Everton man to get a clean header onto it. And they suffered for it.
He hasn't had a fit first choice back four all season, Daniel Farke, and now Sam Byron, Grant Hartley, Christoph Zimmermann all out for the season. As I was saying, Klose there on the edge of the D, wearing 15. This is only his third appearance since August. I wonder whether that would have made a difference, or whether or not there was still a little bit too much naivety about them. But they've been refreshingly attacking.
Yeah, they played the football. They continue to play the way that they did in a championship that made it a very successful campaign for them. So I certainly don't fault Daniel Farke for that. Just my concerns very early on in the campaign with that. If you don't take on that, if you don't take on the experience and don't have that ability to learn from mistakes that were made in the opening few matches of the season, because when everybody's fresh, they're a little bit more open to ideas. On the back of 12 or 15 defeats, it's harder then to change things. The players feel as if, we sort of suffered this way so far, let's continue the way that was successful, as I said, last campaign. The physicality of the side I've always been concerned about, even early on when they had a couple of good victories, most notably here against Manchester City. I was worried that they would have to try and play their way through teams so often, and without the ability to out-physique teams and to be tough enough defensively and grind things out, it would be a tough season for them, and so it's proved.
Here's Fred for Manchester United, very much upwardly mobile again, the Old Trafford club. Still in this competition, in the hunt for a top four place in the Champions League and in the Europa League as well. Dalot, McTominay, veered out wide, and it deflects away off Jamal Lewis.
Just came back in time, the young Norwich left back. The space was about to open up. It's Anthony Martial. He'll be hoping for a few minutes action this evening. Try and get himself another goal. Nice hat-trick last time out.
Dalot was caught by Todd Cantwell. He's been a very bright talent, Cantwell, but to improve his physicality, they were talking about it in the build-up to this game. The academy coaches were saying they used to boot him a lot in training to toughen him up, and he was very interesting, Cantwell, his background. I'll tell you that in a minute, but here's Mata. And now Dalot. Stayed up. McTominay's in there, and out by Tetty. And now Rupp. Poor ball. Hasn't really got to the pace of the game, but that's a much better pass from him. And Cantwell can now send Pukki away, and this is Norwich's best opportunity. He's had to veer to the right-hand side. Not placed with natural pace to get away from McTominay, though. And look at the red shirts pouring back. Here's Buendia. Cantwell back to him. Look at the number of red shirts so quickly back.
Yeah, good defending from Man United. Yeah, Cantwell knows he's on his haunches. That's not a great ball, is it? Great opportunity. Could have taken the extra touch as Bailly decides to retreat, head towards goal. I don't blame him for the pass, actually, but as I said, not accurate enough. And you quite rightly called it, JP. He's not quick enough really to run away from defenders. Luke Shaw got back, made it difficult. And Cantwell looking for the 1-2 in the box. Buendia, I think, he was blocked off, but certainly no foul.
Very intense as a young man in the academy, Todd Cantwell, and his parents thought maybe a little bit too intense, so that they dropped him out of it. And Norwich went along with it completely, and he went away from the club, and I think that's all credit to Norwich City. A number of other clubs might have turned around and said, well, if he's not up to it, he's not up to it, goodbye. And they kept faith in him, and the word is that did him the world of good. And he's come back certainly as a very bright young prospect now. That's a good ball and a good take by Shaw.
Yeah, I'm sure that the time away from the football club reminded him of what he was missing. Realisation that this is actually what I want to do. If this is the way professional football is played, and then I've just got to accept it if I want to be successful. The spell in Dutch football as well, actually, I think served him well. Fortuna Sittard a couple of years ago.
He played a major role in their promotion, Set up the promotion goal and got injured in the process, but in the party afterwards he led the singing of "You'll Never Walk Alone," which endeared him to fans over there. It's their club anthem as well.
On crutches, I'm impressed.
Here's young Scott McTominay. Fred misplaces the pass.
Nice to see a young English player as well that will take take that chance, the opportunity. It's not easy to leave your comfort of your home surroundings and go and play your football away, albeit for only a few months of the year.
Cantwell might have got caught a little bit too late then. I guess there's been a fair little bit of singing of "You'll Never Walk Alone" in your household in the last 24 hours, not suggesting which team you support, of course. But,
you've not given it away as a Borussia Dortmund and a few others in Germany as well, I believe.
Fred. And here's Luke Short. Mata, clever little touch on, but there's enough yellow shirts back to crowd them out.
Good strike, fantastic block from Alexander Tete.
Unsung hero, I thought he was last season of the promotion campaign. Had his critics in his early years as a Norwich player, Alex Tete, when he first arrived in August of 2012. Played a major role for them in the last 18 months or so, certainly, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks on.
And I thought he should have been in the side pretty much from day one in the season. Had a couple of injuries as well, but I think his presence would have been key. It could have been key to to some more points on the board.
Fred. Short. Maguire again, not careful enough in his passing, but they might get him behind here with Lingard, seen off by Max Aarons. Daniel Farke made his name as a manager with a club called Lippstadt. He took them from the 6th level to the 4th, but he took them to the Westphalian Cup quarter-final. And they beat a team called Dernberg at that level, and that's where he really first came to prominence in Germany. And then he got the job as Borussia Dortmund's reserve team manager, and of course there's a well-worn pathway from Dortmund through to the Premier League. Norwich cannot retain the ball. Let's see if they can do now. Oh goodness me, look at that possession stat now. Still 69% Manchester United with the ball.
And I think that's purely down to season fatigue, actually, Jonathan. Nobody who not watched Norwich in the early months of the campaign would have said that. No matter who they're playing, that they would struggle to keep the ball. Very brave in and around the halfway line. He's looking to play passes, thinking forward as their first option if possible. I said when you end of defeats pretty much every week, it drains you physically and mentally more than anything. We played better than this, or as well as this last season, or we're playing better than last season, but we're still losing. Not against Man United or Liverpool or Arsenal or Chelsea, but sometimes against teams who we think are with us in a relegation scrap, or just above us, who've been mid-table teams in the Premier League. So that can all be very dispiriting, and that's why experience in your squad, I think, is vital. If you can, if you're brave enough to spend the money to strengthen the squad, bringing in people who've just been around the game a little bit more, who won't suffer too much from those mental and psychological up and downs.
0-0. Norwich have scored just 2 in the last 8 games. Manchester United have certainly been more fluent. 33 scored in that 13-game unbeaten run. They've only conceded 3 in that time. There's Eric Bailly and Juan Mata.
Got to do better with the ball there, Pukki. Steals a march on Fred. A little bit lazy with the ball retention. United once again on the attack.
And over-ambitious with the overstruck crossfield ball. Trying 1 or 2 of those, Bruno Fernandes, and they haven't come off for him. He's been a terrific creative talent this year for Sporting and Manchester United. He's been involved in 37 goals. Scored 19 this season for the 2 clubs. And here's Lewis for Norwich City. 7 to go in the first half. McLean. Godfrey. And a quick young player. Here he is again.
They're so reliant on their fullbacks, Norwich City, for width that when they are pressed back, once again, just let this attack peter out if it does.
It's all the way through by Diego Dalot.
It has to be an ultra defensive performance, and then getting through the middle of of anybody's midfield is never easy, especially when you're short of confidence. So they found it hard. Buendia, Lucas Rupp and Todd Cantwell to any kind of dominance in the middle of the park, or indeed a good ball reception. Young Adam Ighalo, he's a guy for the future. Pacey goal scorer, no doubt about that. I'm sure that he will get many minutes in the Championship next season.
He scored a hat-trick in this competition against Preston back in round 3 in the 4-2 away win. And they went to Burnley and won. They went to Tottenham and won on penalties, and there's a problem here for Todd Cantwell. Over on his ankle.
Yeah, he's already lost his footing before Harry Maguire comes in. In truth, there wasn't too much contact from the Man United captain, was there?
Over on the outside of his boot, you could see that.
Yeah. He just jarred the ankle a little bit. So there was no impact from Harry Maguire.
This is the furthest he's gone in the competition. Only Timm Klose previously in their side has reached this level of the competition. Daniel Farke looking on. Four minutes plus, I would say conservatively, at least 2 minutes of stoppage time, maybe double that. By this has been the most physical of contests, and restart football hasn't been overly physical, and I think that's an effect of having empty stadia.
Yes, indeed.
We've seen referees though not swayed by home crowds to make a decision, and we've seen very little dissent. Maguire, lovely ball. Oh, Dunlop took his eye off it.
What you're trying to say, JP, is that the crowds are the instigator and the root of all the bad behaviour on the field.
No, what I would say,
they go the plays, do they?
what I would say, and I said this the other night, that I hope the people who run the game, and that's its national organisation, world organisation, and club level, realise the importance of the fans, because the fans make the game, don't they?
Absolutely. And particularly in England, the atmosphere is incredible, week in, week out, and for this competition in particular, the FA Cup is known for generating an extra level of frenetic activity, both on the stand, both in the stands and on the field. Sometimes a much more raucous atmosphere. Is very difficult to describe. You just have to be there to feel it, both as a player and as a fan. And this will make it a very difficult experience for both sets of players today, and indeed for the other cup ties the rest of this weekend.
Chance here for Norwich. Cantwell pulls it back, big chance for them, and it's a terrific block by Harry Maguire that saves Manchester United. Norwich's best opportunity. Good finish to the half, nearly came out then as well. Buendia swept his foot at it. Cantwell, and that's ballooned wide.
Yeah, Luke Shaw this time with the block. Cantwell will be disappointed with that finish. Harry Maguire will be chuffed with his block, no doubt about that. Lucas Rupp just took a little bit too much time to get himself set. Here's Cantwell, once he's in the box, it's danger. Goes past Fred, good cut back. Yeah, that first touch from Lucas Rupp just sends it away from him. That gives Maguire the opportunity to close him down. Half turns his body, blocks it in that left calf of his. Best from Norwich so far.
2 minutes of stoppage time there will be.
Still, they weren't able to test the goalkeeper.
Neither has had a shot to save as we arrive into the last minute of the regulation 45. Here's Eric Bailly.
Just a reminder to all kids watching the importance of that first touch inside the box. Even when you feel you've got a little bit of space, it's got to be so tardy, because good defenders will come out and squeeze you very, very quickly. As Harry Maguire, the Manchester United captain, did extremely well.
I don't think Pukki's really working at his hardest though, and Norwich have always had hard-working centre forwards. You'll know that from your time here, and Dean Ashton and big Grant Holt and Odion Dublin and that's a Phil Bowyer, and many of our older viewers will remember him in the McDougall days, and you have to work hard here.
Yeah, despite the fact that the club is known for playing attractive football, there's always been a physicality, as all those guys you mentioned. They've had a presence about them. And even in modern day football today, it's so important for you to have a presence up front. If you are not the all-conquering, all-powerful or super silky sides of Liverpool and Man United, then to be able to dominate opposition centre halves is key. It buys a lot of time, gives you great options.
Andy Madley was the man who put up the 2 minutes board there for stoppage time. I wonder if he stayed on because he was here refereeing the Everton game the other day. And there's a hotel in the corner of the ground, and essential workers involved in the games can stay in that hotel. Now it's a bit of a lonely experience in there. I had it myself this week, and you have to stay in your room really. Not a lot else you can do. Needs must. Here's Fernandes. An opportunity now. Jesse Lingard. No great pace about that though. Fred. Lingard again.
Well, they don't have pace through the middle right now with Odion and Ighalo. There's an opportunity to maybe just thread that ball through.
He came all the way through then to bring in Fernandes. Mata, strong finish to the half, and over it goes from Lingard, claiming the corner. Goal kick given.
It's been a decent half of football. Not a great one by any stretch of the imagination. We talked about the absence of crowd that's not given us that atmosphere that we're so used to, especially at this stage of the FA Cup season. So both teams are doing their best to generate it for themselves, and of course that is not easy. Norwich have contained well for large parts of the game. United have been the better side, but we talked about the inactivity of both goalkeepers. Timm Klose in particular will be happy about that. It'd be nice to see some more shots on target. I'm sure we'll get a few chances taken, more so by Man United, and expecting much better things in the second half.
John Moss blows his whistle, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer goes down to the dressing rooms below. Harry Maguire with one very big block late on. He had an opportunity at the other end as well, but his block denying Lucas Rupp, probably the closest we've come. Neither goalkeeper having a shot to save at this moment in time. The absence of the crowd playing a major role in this FA Cup quarter-final tie. Half time, it's Norwich 0, Manchester United 0. It's always a passionate affair, always has been, Norwich against Manchester United. Manchester United inevitably have come out on top in the last decade or so. Off we go in the second half. The absence of the crowd has certainly made a major difference to this cup tie, but here's Dalot now for Manchester United, and in then towards Bruno Fernandes. And that is a magnificent ball played out wide, and a little slip there to Luke Shaw. Fred, good run into the penalty area. Fernandes tried to flick it back to Ighalo. The flag had stayed down and he would have been in there. He's such a forward-thinking midfield player.
Yeah, it's a good run. Unfortunately for him, it was on the wrong side for Fred, right foot. It's a lovely clip ball. Oh yeah, he's onside. He's onside. It looked way offside, didn't it, as the ball was getting close to him. That was a good call by the official on the far side.
Manchester United have their fourth corner taken short. Dalot into the penalty area, too long for Harry Maguire. Scored in that romp at Tranmere in the fourth round. Did Maguire, as did Dalot and Jones, Lingard, Martial and Greenwood from the spot.
Good ball from Fred, wasn't it? He's got a lot more time than he thinks he has. Bruno Fernandes going for the spectacular. Ball is coming over his shoulder, he's turning his body. Timm Klose was pretty much rooted to his line.
Just a reminder of the teams for you. Norwich is back 5 unchanged from the league defeat against Everton. And their central midfield 2 unchanged. And the return of Buendia, Cantwell and Pukki, the major talking points. Manchester United, Ramirez their cup goalkeeper. Maguire and Shaw stayed in from the Sheffield United game. Here's Cantwell.
That was a good move. Lovely link-up play. Cantwell coming to life early on in the second half. Just the final pass. He'd be disappointed he doesn't beat the near man at the post for Manchester United. Rupp with the nice ball. Lovely the 1-2. He's almost off balance as well as Cantwell. Nobody on the cutback. Only really Pookie in a goal-scoring position.
And they have their first corner kick of the game. Klose is up from the back. Came glancing off the head of McTominay. Now Pookie looking for Klose at that far stick area again. Bailly chopped it away. Tati, awkward ball there for Cantwell to deal with. Ighalo holding it up. Lingard to his left hand side. And here's Lingard. So we need to get players up and around Ighalo quicker than they did in the first half. Fred. Maguire. Fred's run inside, opened up that gap to Luke Shaw. Put it away by Godfrey. Comes from a good sporting family. This Ben Godfrey. His dad was a rugby league legend, Alex. It's a pensive Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
We're disappointed with the end product of his team tonight. No doubt about that. Especially the more vaunted players in the attacking third, Lingard, Mata and Fernandes in particular. Martial, I'm sure we'll see him if things remain like this, another 15 or so minutes.
Away by Godfrey. Manchester United pressure. And here comes Timm Klose in the Norwich goal.
Everything just has to be that little bit more measured with Manchester United because they don't have that speed through the middle without Martial or Marcus Rashford. Ighalo is not the speed so that they can look up with. Certainly Fernandes look up from 35 yards even and strike a ball over the top. Ighalo, unless he's really stolen a march on, it would have to be sloppy defending. He's not going to run away from too many defenders.
None of these Norwich 11 players have scored an FA Cup goal ever, apart from Buendia. And it's blocked and it'll be away. And Buendia gives chase. Including Buendia, I should have said. And there's a man with creativity to break the deadlock. Paul Pogba.
It was a delicious ball he played for Marcus Rashford, I believe. The game against Sheffield United just flicked it almost so nonchalantly over the defender's head from about 2-3 yards away.
It was a brilliant ball, wasn't it? He had that cameo role against Spurs, won the penalty at New Tottenham Stadium. Here's Luke Shaw now.
Wise not to play him this evening, actually, just to ease him back in. He's been out for a long time.
Maguire. Bailly. Fred. McTominay. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Still no goals. Luke Shaw. Decent run, and it drops here to Ighalo, and Manchester United are ahead. Norwich looked to a flag that didn't come. 5 minutes into the second half. Well, he got a couple in the last round at Derby, and he's got one here today, and Manchester United in the lead at Norwich City now have the best possible platform to kick on and reach the semis.
It's a lovely finish from Ighalo. A little bit of luck. Luke Shaw is actually off balance. He's sort of nudged into, taking this or making this cross. Yeah, he's well onside. Godfrey on this near side, not able to push up quickly enough. In truth, that's not good defending, is it, from Norwich City? Two players going for the ball, and they've left Ighalo, who's ordinarily you would expect him in an offside position, but as the fullback was drawn out to try and deal with Luke Shaw. That's a clever finish. Patient enough just to let the ball dropping off. It's not quite off the boot, almost off the shin, but it doesn't matter. They all count from that distance. He just had to get it wide of Timm Klose, which he did.
Ighalo with the breakthrough goal on 51 minutes. And it's his 5th for Manchester United in 11 games. He was brought in short term until the end of June on loan. They want him to stay on an extended basis. A great start to his Watford career, didn't he? They petered out late on before his move away, and that's the first shot on target and the first goal of the game. And that goal really typifies Norwich's defending for most of the season. 2 players going for the same ball, lacking communication. Here's McLean. Determined run from him, and he's forced a corner kick. They're not out of this yet.
No, not at all. It's only 1 goal at the old-fashioned sucker punch I talked about earlier. That's when you have good periods in matches, you need to get some kind of reward for it. They started a brighter side in the second half. Cantwell linked up well once or twice, weren't able to test Sergio Romero. That's been disappointing, but United go down the other end and steal a march and score the first goal.
In comes Godfrey. Maguire stood firm. Rupp. Back by Pookie. Not too sure whether you want him there or on the edge of the 6-yard box.
And you really don't want the cutback in terms of a pass unless you're really on the move, and United defence is moving towards their own goal. And it's far too easy to cut out.
In the corner from Rupp. And here's Aarons. Lingard there with him, and he got his foot in again. And that's a throw to United, who defensively have been so strong of late. Diogo Dalot. McTominay is making the run ahead of him. And Fernandes will keep it in. Here's Lingard. Pops it up towards that far post area, and Krul comes and collects.
Well, that goal should certainly bring some energy into the game. Manchester United, with the confidence they've been displaying and the results they've been getting in the last few weeks, they should be full of themselves. It's up to Norwich to respond as quickly as they can. Good cut back from Fernandes.
Something stirring at Manchester United these days. 10 clean sheets in 13 unbeaten games.
Good sign, isn't it?
Defensive solidity. We know there's goals by the hatful with Rashford and Martial. You know, Greenwood coming through. Creativity as well. It's 4-2-3-1. Would you, when Pogba gets back to his fittest, it's uncertain whether it would be a Manchester United player next season, but would you play him? Would you play a more genuine 4-3-3 with him in the midfield 3? I wonder.
No, I'd be tempted to have some protection for Pogba. Not that he's an indisciplined player, but somebody who really would like to be a number 10. I don't think he ever will be, but if you've got 2 guys sitting behind him, whether it's Fred and McTominay or Matic and McTominay, whatever combination you like, and certainly could play him with Bruno Fernandes, take it in turns to do some defensive work, and then have a wider play, Rashford or Martial either side. Nice to have the quality of play though, isn't it? And then to be able to change formation as you see fit, depending on the opposition.
10 minutes gone in the second half.
Talent is there for United. It's been the cohesion, especially the early part of the campaign. It seems to have found that the confidence has come. And it talks about validation for your work. For a club of this stature, they need to be picking up trophies, and at least to be playing in the Premier competition in Europe, the Champions League, of course. And it's going to be a tall order for them to achieve this campaign. There's Chelsea in the box seat right now. They could even overtake Leicester, and of course, Wolves are not hot in their heels because they actually won earlier today, so they've gone above United.
Well, they have the Europa League advantage over Lasker Linz, 5-0 up from the first leg at the round of 16.
Yeah, winning that competition, of course, is a way into the Champions League next time round, and they will be one of the favourites, no doubt about that.
Here's Lingard. 5th place in the Premier League could get you into the Champions League as well with the Manchester City ban. Here's Lingard into the box. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if they hang on to this lead, long way to go. They have 42 wins in 79 games at Manchester United. Started so brightly. Since Sir Matt Busby in 1946 to win his first 5 league games in charge. Then they had the lull period, and they're coming on strong now, and they're dominating this game. Here's Lingard. McTominay could have got the shot away. Fred. Bruno Fernandes has given it away, and here's Timm Klose now for Norwich City. Didn't hold it up well. Perhaps they were a little bit sluggish in getting up with him, but he's cutting a very forlorn figure.
In truth, his hold-up play and possession has not been good throughout the whole game so far, Timm Klose. United have done well actually defending. I've seen a real urgency with their players to get back and defend when there's been any threat of a counter-attack.
There's been a little reaction there from Norwich since the goal. Started to hold the ball a little bit better. German cross met by Timm Klose, German-born Swiss international. Bruno Fernandes sees the run of Fred.
And these are the periods of matches, JP, when you're behind at home. Ordinarily you would have a full crowd here, some 30,000, trying to lift their side. Here's the goal once again. Luke Shaw with that. Across 2 players going for the ball, miscommunication. Ighalo's left completely free. That wise old head that he has on his shoulders. Aware that there's far too many bodies for him ready to do anything effective going for that ball. Something just may happen. Teammate may flick it on, the ball may spin up into there just like that, and I can finish so close to it. He knows that he's just outside the 6-yard box. One touch will do from that distance.
Defensively it was a mess for Norwich again, centre-backs crossing over in front of each other, and it was all a bit higgledy-piggledy. Arteta. Better from McLean. One goal could turn everything for Norwich. Here's Lewis approaching the hour. Here's Timm Klose. Nothing on for him. Ripper made the run outside. He was hesitant though, wasn't he, Klose? This is a run from Aarons, and Maguire with a block.
Yeah, not a bad cross. Well defended by the Manchester United captain at that near post. Yeah, you're right, JP. Everything just far too sluggish from Timm Klose.
Given the long period away from football, it's over 6 months since he had his last goal from free play. Manchester United are readying substitutes. Brandon Williams, a young left back. I thought he might play today actually. And Marcus Rashford looks as if he's going to come on. Hour played. Has given Harry Maguire a lot to do, and I think we'll see Mason Greenwood waiting to come on. There's Mike Phelan, Manchester United hero, Norwich City hero.
Yeah,
I think he got his. Did he get his England caps when he was a Norwich player? A long time ago now. Big football character. And this is a merry glint to his eye and a willing smile when you speak to him. And Manchester United just trying to take any sting out of a possible Norwich comeback. Playing keep ball from the back. Maguire, Shaw. That's out of play. Here come the changes for Manchester United. Trio to come on. Greenwood and Rashford and Williams. Will replace Luke Shaw at left back. 27th game of a breakthrough season from the 19-year-old Mancunian. Recently signed an extension to his deal. He's been ever present in the Cup this season. And his debut back in September in the League Cup. Rupper's gone off for Norwich. Jesse Lingard's going to depart for Rashford's arrival. There's Hernandez who's come on. The plethora of second half substitutions in restart football has led to confusion down on the touchline. And Matters, the other player to go off for Manchester United. It's led to confusion with officials, I can tell you. Referee was telling me last Saturday that they're struggling to get to terms with all the changes, getting the substitution board ready. Here comes Rashford and Williams and Greenwood, and off go Lingard, Shaw and Mata. And Rupp, another disappointing game for him, is replaced by Hernandez. It's Dalot who's gone off, not Shaw. Shaw definitely on, that's what I was just saying to you. And there's Hernandez who's definitely on. The referee was saying to me they went to the Arsenal manager. There was confusion at the Amex Stadium last week. Arsenal wanted to make a couple of substitutions in one go, and they didn't have the names of the substitutes ready to replace each of the ones who were going off.
Yeah, I was there for that one. I was commentating, watching from up high, and weren't too happy with the Arsenal bench.
Bit of a blow here for Ighalo.
It's not why they lost, of course, the Gunners. You know, I understand what you're saying, JP. The frustration, isn't it, of not being able to get things organised quickly enough.
Crucial moment in the game here, in the tie. Who knows in the cup? Bruno Fernandes with the free kick. Dangerous swinging in as it did. It's away by Hernandez. Threw out confidently. Godfrey for Norwich now was Cantwell there, caught in the face. McTominay was running with him. He thinks he's seen something.
A couple of plays as well. Not happy with the challenge.
Hooper is the VAR. Gets the pass away. Right. McTominay was holding his running line, blocked him off definitely, but apart from that I didn't see too much to do.
A little bit naughty, I thought. He can change the angle of his run. His eyes really should be following the ball. That's a long way, and yeah.
Oof.
He could have made a much better attempt to get himself out of the way, Scott McTominay. I think he's a lucky boy.
Yeah, from that view you could see it clear up. So no action to be taken. Klose won that, on by Cantwell.
Yeah, it's an unnecessarily sly attack on a fellow professional.
There hasn't been a great deal of physicality in the game, has there?
No, it hasn't actually. No, it's been played at a nice steady pace. I wouldn't say friendly, but competitive, but there's not been an edge to the game, which you need at this level sometimes to really perform. Well, Cantwell's a young guy, and he's not a particularly forceful player, but one or two other players in the league who would put you in that old famous black book of names and faces to watch out for next time.
Nicky Phelan played over 100 league games for Manchester United, won the league and cup and league cup and cup winners cup. And Michael Carrick, you saw there, sitting closer to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 464 games for Manchester United, 5 titles, the FA Cup, League Cup a couple of times, Champions League, Europa League, World Club Championship, Community Shield. Not a bad career. Rashford looking for Shaw. Fred. Here's Maguire. Rashford. I thought he was fouled. He's 19 goals this season, Marcus Rashford. It was the replay against Wolves that highlighted his injury problem earlier this season. Here's Pukki. Midway through the second half, Buendia, see a great deal of him on the ball. Teti. Jamal Lewis.
Once again, it's the full-backs who are really giving Norwich City that width. And
Buendia, a little tricky run. 4 red shirts around him. And there was no other movement.
Yeah, nobody anywhere close to that 6-yard box for Norwich City.
They've forgotten how to score, and they've forgotten how to win football matches.
And they're weighed down by the pressure, the defeats. It's make you shrink sometimes. A team that is suffering so badly in the league form to not take any more chances than you need to, and that's how things are done and won inside opposing boxes. And you continue to be that risk taker.
They've got to gamble. Lewis. Cantwell looks for him again.
That's a foul. A clumsy challenge from Mason Greenwood. Saw that coming about 2 seconds before it happened. Young forward diving in.
Yeah, no need for the challenge really from the youngster who scored at Tranmere. Started against Sheffield United the other night, came on at Tottenham in their first game back. He's got 12 this season.
Yeah, lovely left foot he's got. Real natural goal scorer, it appears. He's going to find it difficult over the next year or two, you'd imagine, to get enough game time to please him.
And it swings. Oh, and it's off the line by a Norwich player. Would you believe it?
I'd like to see that from another angle, actually, JP. I've got a feeling it may not have been going in, may have just been creeping inside our post, but he seemed to actually be beyond the ball, and as he's looking back towards the play, maybe it comes off his shoulder.
Ben Godfrey of Norwich denies Norwich an equaliser, perhaps. They're going to make another change in a minute, Norwich. Their luck is really out. But it will give them hope. Here's Cantwell. And they're having a decent spell now. Getting Buendia more on the ball. She's going to bring on Josip Djemic any minute. And he's a centre forward, and I would imagine that Timm Pukki will depart. Djemic has a couple of goals in the FA Cup this season. He's only got 3 for the club. Most of his appearances have come from the bench. And there's Godfrey, the man who inadvertently denied them.
We had the scream, maybe he's telling, isn't it? Yeah, off his shoulder. Didn't know too much about it. Somebody's giving him a hard time, hasn't they, for stopping that ball, ending up in the back of the net.
Well, he hides his face, Timm Pukki, and he can't quite believe the downturn in his fortunes.
Yeah, life for the striker, that's what it is. Good spells, bad spells. It was also good for him early on in the campaign. Did he get a touch beforehand? Yeah, off Bruno Fernandes. I think that ball's going wide, I think. Yeah, that ball's not ending up in the back of net. This will be definitive. Yeah, it's going well wide. He's actually done his teammates a favour. He's actually kept it in play for somebody to then get onto the ball. Fernandes with the header off the shoulder of Ben Godfrey.
Just wonder whether the touch by Tete, he just got a slight touch on it, whether had he not, it would have maybe given him an opportunity at the far stick. Don't think so. Would have maybe gone behind him. Here we have the drinks break again. Now, drinks break at this time, when Norwich are enjoying their best spell in the game, it's broken their rhythm, hasn't it?
Momentum killer, isn't it? Well, these are the rules, as they say.
They're not out of this game, but it's a tough task. This is 5 goals now for Manchester United. The young trio of Martial, Rashford and Greenwood have 50 between them. But look at the last 5 minutes there. Look. Norwich enjoying more of the ball.
He's got no reward. Still they've not tested the goalkeeper, Sergio Romero.
The one goal we have is the only shot on target so far. Sunny evening in Norfolk. That road is normally throbbing with traffic on a match day. Fred, corner kick Manchester United. It's their 5th of the game. Norwich have had a couple. Overall possession in the match is still 62% in favour of Manchester United, and a second goal would knock Norwich out of the cup. Fernandez with it. Powerful header away, good header away as well. There's Williams, right back.
Had a good season, hasn't he, Brandon Williams? He's got a real edge to his play, needed to be a defender by trade.
Thanks, Aarons. Here's Buendia. Tete. Buendia finally seeing more of the ball. He's such a creative little player. He has 7 assists this season.
I was asking a lot of young Jamal Lewis, wasn't it, that ball? Seen very little of Bruno Hernandez since he entered the field.
Bruno Fernandes, I thought his legs were taken then. But
I think there was a little tug from Kenny McLean.
Yeah. He was suggesting that Fernandes went down too easily, as Tottenham felt when he won the second penalty at New Tottenham Stadium the other day. Here's Hernandez. Now Cantwell might have a shot from there, and does! Oh, what an effort! And Norwich are level. Too few times in recent months we've seen genuine quality from Norwich, but this is a player of real quality in the making, and that was a quality goal.
Well, that would disappoint the Man United players, and indeed certainly that look of dismay, disappointment on the face of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his assistant Michael Carrick. Hernandez comes inside, first time he's really been involved in the game, pass it on to Buendia, nice quick transition, ball across the face of the box here, that's moving away from Romero. He'd be disappointed, I don't think he's quite at full stretch, probably so surprised that a shot is actually coming towards him. Yeah, he doesn't shift his feet. I think the goalkeeper should get fingertips onto that, and if not save it. It's not quite right in the corner, it's coming towards and then moving away. It's a good strike, take nothing away from Todd Cantwell. Norwich have probably deserved that, being a better side the last 10 or so minutes.
And it's their first goal since they netted at Tottenham in round 5. And ends a run of 3 games without a goal. Manchester United are getting 2 more substitutes ready. And Paul Pogba is one of them. And Matic is the other. Well, they lack protection there for the defence. And had Matic been on earlier, and that gap would have closed for Cantwell.
It talks about how well Manchester United have actually recovered well and shown great urgency, determination to get back and support their defence when there's been any threat of a counter-attack. We just got a little bit complacent and felt that Norwich really didn't have anything to offer in this game today. And for the first time, really, it opened up clearly for them. Certainly in this second half. Kenny McLean had a shot in the first half, that was...
This is promising. Ighalo trying to force it through, rather. And Godfrey will clear. And the whole game could spin on that. What a poor ball by Cantwell. Williams to Shaw. Now Rashford. Trying to slip it beyond the covering Max Aarons, who had the presence of Wendia to help. 13 minutes to go, and Paul Pogba is going to come on for Manchester United, and Fred will depart. And McTominay will go off and be replaced by Nemanja Matic. Only Pogba's 11th game of a injury dog season. He was out from Boxing Day on with an ankle problem that needed a surgery. Came on for 28 minutes against Spurs and played all but 10 minutes against Sheffield United. That's a good header away. Tati with a firm touch.
He'd love to win this game, wouldn't he, without having to stress his players too much.
Pogba's first FA Cup tie of the season. He was a runner-up against Chelsea a couple of years ago. Matic. This one cleanly by Klose. 11 minutes between this game being won or going to extra time. Here's Pogba. Matic did well. He needed to hold it up in there, and they couldn't do that. Greenwood let it slip away from him. Here's Hernandez. Cantwell. By confident touch. And Pogba. Greenwood had a look. What's on in the middle for him? Ighalo's in there. Went for it himself. Gets a little look. A disparaging look from Fernandes.
Yeah, wasn't happy with that, was he, at all? Manchester United midfield man. This ball from Pogba, I think, is a pretty good pass. Greenwood's just coming in a little bit too sharply on the angle. Wasn't able to take the ball in his stride. He's only got one thing on his mind. Has a couple of step overs, and he's got good feet and a wicked left foot as Mason Greenwood. Slightly off balance as he hits that ball. Yeah, always moving away from Timm Klose's goal.
Approaching the last 10 minutes. Actually have a decent cup record against Manchester United. They've knocked them out 3 times, back in 91 in the 5th round, 67 in the 4th round, and back in 1959 in the 3rd round. Roy Keane and Eric Cantona were on target here in the last meeting back in 94, and he won this competition a couple of times as a United player. Solskjaer. Well, he's looked a different player since Pukki went off. The goal, of course, would lift any player.
He had started the second half brightly anyway. He seemed to be really up for it. I'm sure there were words of encouragement from Daniel Farke, and maybe a few harsh words as well.
His first FA Cup career goal.
Yeah, space to move into. Didn't take too long. The first one set himself well enough.
From that aerial view, you could see it was not the best of goalkeeping.
Yeah. Doesn't shift his feet at all, does Romero. Set himself and really spring off, almost as if he's just leaning towards and falling towards the ball, hoping it's going to hit his gloves, as opposed to taking that extra half step and really using springboard to get closer to it.
Here's Godfrey. That's a dangerous ball in. More positive keeping by Romero. Strong hands. He's punched that, 30 yards away from goal.
Yeah, safety first. Probably the best thing to do on this occasion. That's a good ball from Godfrey, isn't it? Teasing as Dermich comes in. Takes no chances, the goalkeeper.
Pogba. Now Shaw. Pogba. Pass and move. There's a step over by Fernandes. Here's Shaw.
Well, found a teammate, but long way back.
Goalkeeping situation at Manchester United is very interesting. Talk about the qualities of Romero as a number 2. De Gea, the number 1, has been criticised, especially by former Manchester United hero Roy Keane of late. But will young Henderson be the number 1 next season? Back from loan at Sheffield United. Now here's Norwich for Norwich City. Oh, he's done well there. Support arrives now. It's Buendia. Shoots wide, but too much space there again allowed by the Manchester United defence.
It wasn't a bad hit, was it? I thought Dermot was offside. He was close. I think he's offside. Williams is closest to playing him on, but still think that he was a yard ahead of the last Manchester United player. Just doesn't get any kind of fade onto this ball as Buendia.
Not a good ball played away there by Dermot. But Norwich's best spell in many a game, probably since the new Spurs Stadium penalty shootout victory at Tottenham. Teti. And Godfrey. Dermot around the corner. Buendia. Hernandez got an opportunity here, denied by Williams. That's a side-saving challenge.
Great defending. I thought the ball actually should have come just a fraction earlier. Just allowed Williams to make up the ground. With Hernandez just looking to hold his run in case he was offside. Yeah, and as soon as that first touch placed him into a goal-scoring position. Not aware of the pressure coming behind him. He should have been, really. No, he wasn't going to get a free shot that goal. However, it was a great saving challenge.
6 minutes to go. Bruno Fernandes. Pogba's there to his left-hand side. In shooting range. Gets it back from Shaw. Give and go. And there's the muddle. And a free kick.
Much better game, isn't it, the last 20 or so minutes. Norwich all of a sudden with belief in themselves, got themselves on target with a goal. And more than dreaming about the second, really going for it.
Like a cup tie now. Extra time. And then perhaps penalties. But a real tonic this for Norwich, with their crucial relegation games to come. But they can make a match of this against Manchester United, who seem so much in command. Five wins needed from their last 7 games. They've got Arsenal away, Brighton and West Ham here, Watford away, Chelsea away. Burnley's their last home game, Manchester City on the last weekend away. But even if they do go down, if they can get to Wembley in the FA Cup, if they can get to the final for the first time ever, that would be a huge boost for the club and the supporters.
Fans would love a day out, wouldn't they? And if you get there, of course, you have to believe that you can win.
Even though On the Ball City, football's oldest song, some say, would not be heard ringing around the rafters from supporters there. Although I think the clubs and the associations and the games rulers are working on a return for supporters. Looks to me as if both sets of players will settle for a half-hour period of extra time. Anthony Martial wants to come on.
Norwich will be certainly the happier of the two sides if it went to extra time or indeed to penalties.
They've had 5 substitutions, but you can make another one in extra time. A couple of minutes to go. There will be a lengthy period of stoppage time as well. Well, that's a foul. Was it play on, says the referee? That's a foul.
Fouls there.
Good use of the advantage. All then Klose pulling down Ighalo, who rolled him.
He's given him a red
card. A red card.
Yeah.
Is that denial of a goal scoring opportunity?
He did wrestle him to the ground, I have to admit, JP, right on the edge of the box. He tried to play the advantage. Did John Moss. First foul is on Bruno Fernandes, yeah. As Godfrey comes through it, yeah, Klose's wrong side, and Ighalo is clever enough to get his body and just to deny Klose the opportunity to get back goal side.
Just as they get back into the game, will it swing on that? Norwich will have to play the last 90 seconds plus stoppage time and extra time should it go, with 10. Naive defending really by a man of his experience, 17 caps for his country. He was sent off once at Wolfsburg and once at Basel in the second team. It's his first sending off in England. He denied Manchester United a clear goal scoring opportunity. And they make amends from here. Rashford's over it. Bruno Fernandes, who loves to take every set piece, wants to play a leading role again. This would certainly win the tie for Manchester United, but not like that. Maybe now Shaw. Ooh, whistled through, took a deflection away.
Yeah, I think it was off target anyway. Fortunate to actually get that is the Manchester United left back. I'm sure Fernandes is actually going to try and hit the ball underneath the wall, expecting them to jump. Couldn't quite see clearly if they did or not, but it wasn't well struck enough.
Tom Tribal is coming on and Todd Cantwell is departing. He's been subbed now 5 of his last 6 games for Norwich, but Pukki off, substituted, goal threat, Cantwell off.
Yeah,
goal threat,
but carrying a little bit of an injury. If he was I couldn't see quite what he seemed to be holding inside of his thigh. I wonder if he's just tweaked his groin a little bit. If that's the case, then really don't want to be taking any chances with him.
Chada will give more protection defensively, down to 10 men. Bruno Fernandes with the corner kick swung away through. Shaw back into the middle, brought down very well, stabbed back through by Bruno Fernandes. Here's Rashford. And Matic. Shaw steps inside. Ighalo back to goal, good defending. Solid block in there by Godfrey.
All he had to do was stay close, touch tight, not allow the big Nigerian to turn. Strong is Ighalo, and clever enough. Knows exactly how to feel where the defenders are and roll them, and from that distance, 6 or so yards out, once again, probably one decent touch, it's beyond the goalkeeper.
And nearing the end of the first minute of those 6 minutes of stoppage time. Williams for Manchester United. You can see Teti has dropped in there at centre half alongside Godfrey after the sending off. Bruno Fernandes. One more pass to Luke Shaw. United want it. 1 in regulation time. It's a good run up from the back by Williams, but diligent work by Hernandez. Now Pogba. Immensely powerful. Into Ighalo, wants the back heel. And again, it was well read by Godfrey. And that's all the way through from Bruno Fernandes. Should it come to penalties, will again Timm Klose prove the hero?
Yeah, here's the sending off once again. Yeah, he's far too close. He's the wrong side to begin with. He's actually holding Ighalo before that contact is made by his defensive partner Godfrey on Fernandes. It's terrible defending. And Ighalo, as I said, clever enough, experienced enough, just to hold his ground, almost making no attempt to play the ball himself. the Manchester United forward, and the referee's got no option really but to flash that red card.
Lip reading Ole Gunnar Solskjaer from a long way away. It seemed that he was saying it's got to be a red card. And you saw it from there again and the replay, and even Daniel Farke can have no complaints with that. Dermich, he's done well. Two Manchester United players hungry for the ball, and one of them was Pogba, and that's a good sign. Buendia. Matic is there to guard and win it back and set up the counter, and Rashford. And they've got such pace, of course, on that counter. Greenwood. Matic having a look, bypassing Rashford. Here's Shaw, Maguire on the outside. Shaw left foot, popped up, hit his arm. Handball given. Halfway through stoppage time.
A much better half of football, hasn't it? Second time round. For Norwich in particular, they'll be pleased that the patience they've shown to recover from that goal that Manchester United scored through Ighalo. And important that actually came out after the break with some kind of with renewed energy and determination to show Manchester United that they're not just going to allow them to run away with the place into the semi-final.
But with a quarter of an hour to go, and a goal like that, cracked in by Cantwell, pace would have gone ballistic. Noise levels would have gone up, especially from that end behind Manchester United goal, and no supporters absent today. Maguire. Away by Godfrey. A strong game for Norwich. Opportunity for them here to build. Pogba, Williams. Rashford has to chase and keep it in. Bruno Fernandes, Shaw. Ighalo in the middle, so to Greenwood in there. In the last minute of stoppage time. Can they win it here and break a few hearts? Pogba to Shaw, a little bit hesitant, wouldn't get the shot away. Rashford in the middle. Given away by Teti.
We're bound to see more of this in extra time, aren't we? Manchester United dominating the ball with that man advantage. And Norwich shuffling across as effectively as they can. And the discipline the defending is so important.
Bruno Fernandes thought about a shot from range. Matic. They go wide to find a way around Norwich. Rashford. Pogba. Krul gets a foot on it. Greenwood from the follow-up. Krul saves. Pogba still alive. Little Rabona crossed back into the middle, but he was in an offside position, I think.
Yeah, good save from Timm Klose. After a decent connection from Mason Greenwood. May have seen this the earlier cross from Paul Pogba. Saves that well with his leg. There's Krul, and then he gets down smartly as well, coming through quite a few bodies. Who takes a deflection as well, a big one off Jamal Lewis. That certainly deceived him. That's a smart stop.
Good save by Timm Klose, and that ensures we go to extra time at Carrow Road. After 90 minutes, it's Norwich 1, Manchester United 1. Well, welcome back to extra time. And Norwich have made another change. Andre Duda, the attacking midfield player on loan from Hertha Berlin, has come on for Memi Buendia. So again, Norwich have 11 out there without their three best players of the season, Cantwell and Pukki and Buendia. Duda played against Everton the other day for 70 minutes and didn't distinguish himself really. Buendia can create. He looks very, very unhappy at being taken off. And we expect this extra time, half an hour, to be an old attack v defence training session. Manchester United pouring it on in those last few minutes of normal time. And off we go then in extra time. Norwich 1, Manchester United 1. Half an hour to play. You can see there the Norwich substitute during the extra time. Tactical talk, Duda on that far side, wearing 25.
Yes, what will displease Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is that his team allowed Norwich City to seize the initiative moments after the restart. And whilst they've not continued to dominate proceedings, barring that last 5 or so minutes of normal time, they were looking the more likely team to score, to actually get the second goal.
Shaw to Pogba. And on Tribal. Ighalo to Greenwood. And here's Bruno Fernandes, deflected and then headed wide. Pogba stretched. Not too sure why he's claiming a corner, because for me he got the last touch.
It was quite clear, wasn't it? Not the best there, Bruno Fernandes' strike. Off the Norwich City player, couldn't quite see who that was flying in.
Well, he clearly made contact, Pogba. But wide it went. He's scored 1 FA Cup goal in the past. The team beaten in 2018.
The Norwich City goalkeeper won't be too afraid of penalties, will they? Timm Klose.
He certainly won't.
Pretty effective between the sticks when it comes to one-on-one.
He saved a couple from Tottenham, from Parrott and Fernandes in the last round. He's got a very good penalty save ratio, has Timm Klose. He was used by the Netherlands, you remember. He's brought on against Costa Rica in World Cup 14 as a late substitute.
Louis van Gaal, I think. He's always quite a brave manager in situations like that, isn't he? Doing something that very few others would risk.
May not go that far. Rule out Norwich City quite yet. They've shown terrific spirit to come back into the game. Jamal Lewis, a cup ever present this season with the throw. By Hernandez. Williams was there. Now Pogba. City got underneath the ball rather. A little bit of confusion back there. They lack leaders at times in that Norwich back four. And he might have provided that had he been fit throughout the campaign. Bruno Fernandes with the cross. Walks on through and comes to Rashford. Shakes to shoot. And it's pushed away by Krul.
Good hit. Just worked it, Marcus Rashford, didn't he? A couple of nice touches to put himself a little bit more central with the shot. Yeah, Timm Klose is thankful that that ball is pretty much straight over his head and a comfortable tip over the crossbar.
Only his second appearance of this run to the last 8. In comes that corner kick and it's missed in the middle by Teti. And Pogba dinks it back into the middle, half-headed away, and then leave it up and over by Eric Bailly.
Yeah, Norwich defence will be glad that it fell to a centre-half. With any real kind of conviction. He's happy about something, giving somebody a thumbs up. There's that shot again once from Marcus Rashford. He gets the ball up and down very, very quickly.
One or two of the Norwich defenders are breathing heavily. They've played every minute since the return, virtually. Aaron's, Godfrey and Lewis. Lewis went off with 4 minutes to go against Everton. And in such a short time that as well, after the long layoff.
They're young kids, you know, nice and fresh with lots of energy to burn, but they'll be feeling it. These extra minutes.
I remember the days when there was energy, being young and fresh, energy to burn. A long while ago now, Efren.
No matter how fit you are, this is a tough period for the players. They've had a couple of months off, but back in training a few weeks. But about the worst time that we could have actually had that enforced break, because you get to March and already, especially if you're a seasoned player, your body knows that time of year and is aware of the volume of matches you've played. It feels as if the season had really ended, and it's a lot of psychological, mental energy, I think, expended during this enforced break.
Rashford, determined run. He nearly crept all the way through there. Emirates did just enough. Martial's going to come on for them. That's their 6th change in the game. Eric Bailly, looks to me as if the man is going to go off. And here's a man with 19 goals this season, 19 in his career. Scored away at Tranmere. FA Cup winner in 16, runner-up 2 years later. Anthony Martial has 5 goals in his 19 FA Cup ties in his career. An attacking move. And they've got a potent front three now, with those 50 goals between them. Oh, front four, but not forgetting Ighalo. Lingard and Mata and Bailly. Good run out though for Eric Bailly, only his 7th appearance of the season after the knee operation.
Yeah, for him to come through the extra 30 minutes as well will be a tall order for him. Certainly don't want anybody to be picking up injuries for Manchester United. They're still in the hunt for Champions League qualifications, and the Europa League, of course, to come in August.
They go to a revitalised Brighton in the week on Tuesday night. That's a foul on Luke Shaw. I just wonder whether...
I was looking for that, was Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Duda obliged him, didn't he, by sticking his shoulder in.
If the ball's not there to be won, why try and win it like that?
Shaw's that's an experienced campaigner's move, that is, for a young player. Stuck his elbow into Duda's chest as well.
Midway through the first period of extra time. Bruno Fernandes with the magic in their feet, with the free kick. Whipped in! And over it goes. Was he going for it?
Well, it certainly seemed like it was hit with lots of venom. Yeah, he's starting that ball nice and high, isn't he? For looking to get that ball down quickly, he's asking a lot.
Something of a rarity for him to last the whole game. He's been subbed 4 times in his last 5 games. In this first period in English football for him, such a talented player. Crucial piece in the Manchester United jigsaw. And here they come, that front four. Looking for Ighalo.
They're looking to get away with that. I mean, that's exactly what led to the goal. 2 Norwich City players going for the one ball, lack of communication. United all of a sudden are breaking. Martial heading towards the penalty area.
Matic for Manchester United. Pogba. Leave it away to Ighalo. Martial tried to find him.
As you said, JP, attacking against defence for this extra time period. Norwich just have to do their best to try and contain the visitors.
Bruno Fernandes. In steps Godfrey. He's been the pick of their defenders for Norwich City. And whatever happens to this club in the next month or so, I'm sure he's got a bright future ahead of him, the England under-21. But now it's Manchester United who come again. Rashford. Martial from the deep. Super challenge by Teti, that. He's done well since dropping back into the defence. Bruno Fernandes picks the pass. Greenwood keeps it in. Paul Pogba can create mayhem from there. And his best ball in away by Teti. Now Maguire. Manchester United, everyone encamped into the final third. Matic. Martial thought about a shot. Here's Pogba. And now young Williams couldn't get beyond Hernandez. He dug in deep there. No out ball for Norwich, not there. They're even calling back Dermich, look. Norwich 20 to get within 30 yards of his own goal. Up towards Ighalo. Greenwood couldn't control. Here's Dermich. In steps Nemanja Matic, who's nominally playing as a centre-back now, I think. Not really. They don't need one the way things are going on. Here's Hernandez, and if Norwich are to score on a counter, they need him flying further up the pitch.
That's good patient play. They do need an out ball. Can they be brave enough then to just, they keep the ball, of course, to begin with, then they can think about bringing up that back line. United ball. Oh, they've got that one, Norwich. Looks as if it came off Jamal Lewis last. Important moments these are in terms of a breather, trying to see out this first period of extra time. Interesting
as Norwich threatened to break that Shaw stepped across into the middle. He has played as a central defender in a 3 this season, and learning more and more about the game. Here's Hernandez trying to burrow his way through, and still going, holding possession. And Duda might get it back here. Hernandez was free. Now Tom Tribal. Lewis with the cross, blocked by Pogba, and he shouts to Brandon Williams to close on the ball, and Lewis has done really well, but the cross was overhit. Rashford for Manchester United. Great to see him back fully fit.
Well,
Manchester United dominating.
Yeah, no surprise there at all. And mentally, the players, Norwich players, would have accepted that's more than likely going to be the case as soon as Timm Klose got sent off. And they've actually coped pretty well. United have not had one clear opportunity. In fact, they've not had one clean opportunity aside from the goal, have they, throughout the match so far?
I need to see the last 7 minutes, including stoppage time, of the regulation 90 without Klose. Already approaching 20 minutes with 10 men, and here's Greenwood. Rashford coming in off the wider position. Dermich, Hernandez. If they can get him flying through the middle, he could create trouble. That's a overstruck pass.
And he didn't have to force the ball as well. He just carried on, travelling down that right-hand side of the field.
How much will this have taken out of Norwich for the relegation dogfight? Game at Arsenal to come next Wednesday, and then the huge run. Brighton at home, Watford away, West Ham at home. If they stay up, they've got to get 9 points from those 3 games. And very probably something at Arsenal as well.
Well, I'll say that if they win here tonight, JP, we won't take too much out of them. Physically, of course, they'll be tired, but mentally they'll be really feeling.
There's Pogba. Oh, veered and popped off Tim Krul.
Yeah, they'll be feeling positive going into next week's matches. That ball fizzed, didn't it, from Paul Pogba? A little bit of swerve, lots of dip. Just comes off the Dutchman's wrist, really. Thankfully him, he doesn't spin backwards and into his own goal.
Moved like a volleyball, that. From a major spike. And here is Pogba, too strong for Hernandez. He didn't react really in the right way. With a swipe of a challenge. This is purposeful from Manchester United. Hernandez, Brandon Williams have made the forward surge. Not used. Here's Rashford looking for Martial. And that was well guarded by Jamal Lewis.
Did well, the youngster. Delicious ball from Marcus Rashford. I think exactly the kind of service that he would like if he was making this run towards the far post. Just sticking that leg out, Jamal Lewis just does enough to put Martial off. He takes his eye off the ball and completely misses it.
Krul, penalty saving hero. Manchester United have had their penalty moments this season, haven't they? Plenty of takers, Martial being one of them, Rashford another. They've had their misses too. Here's Martial, back to Rashford. Great save-saving challenge there. Duda and Max Aaron's coming together.
Yeah, that's determination for you. For the final of an FA Cup match. In extra time, you're under the cosh. And you make sure you throw your body at the ball.
Into a minute stoppage time at the end of the first half of extra time. Bruno Fernandes with the corner kick. It's a decent header away by Tribal. Williams, Matic. Rashford dummied the first effort and blazed the second over. Well, Tim Krul, you might remember, here saved a couple of penalties against Manchester United. And we're at half-time, extra time, and he might be called upon again to be their hero from the spot.
He's probably looking forward to it.
He writes the names and the penalty tactics of opposing players on his water bottle. And he went to his right to save from Rashford here earlier in the season. He went to his left to save from Martial.
Yes, it's more than a guessing game, isn't it?
I think it's the first time in the Premier League a goalkeeper's made two penalty saves in the same match. But here we are in the FA Cup quarter-final. Place in the semi at stake. And Norwich City haven't been there for a long while. 28 years. Since they went to Hillsborough, I seem to remember, and went out to Sunderland. I should remember, I was at the game. Manchester United participating in a club record 6th quarter-final in a row. And they've only reached the semi-final in 2 of the previous 5. And they went out at this stage last season to Wolves. And here's Martial looking for the run of Shaw.
Good concentration. Godfrey's been outstanding tonight.
He's only 22. First came to prominence when he captained York to the England Schools under-13 title in 2011. It was the greatest day in the history of schoolboy football in that city.
Yes, we're going to have more of the same with this second period of extra time that we had in the last 10 minutes or so. Norwich City shuffling across. Sometimes it's so much more difficult even to try and break down a set of outfield players, 9 of them. They're extremely disciplined, not overly concerned about going forward.
He's short, and Rashford, has he gone too early? He hasn't. Martial looks for Rashford coming in. Is this the moment? He's dragged it, kept back in play by a Norwich player, by Max Aaron's inadvertently. Could have let it go wide. Shaw with the cross. It was Jamal Lewis who got it away. He's had a strong performance as well. Now Pogba. Matic. And they're working so hard, Norwich City, to keep them at bay. And McLean with the block there. Matic. And here's Harry Maguire. Bruno Fernandes. Martial. Tried to open his body and bend the shot in. McLean couldn't win that. Shaw was the hungry and wide by Bruno Fernandes.
Despite the man advantage, Man United, they may start to get a little bit edgy in terms of desperation, trying to get themselves a goal. They certainly wouldn't want to go to penalties.
You can see why Bruno Fernandes has the 19 goals for his 2 clubs this season, Portugal and with Manchester United. He's a very front foot player, always thinking about moving the ball on, whether it be a pass or an effort on goal. Not too sure whether all the Manchester United players appreciated that one. He's on Hernandez, and he's got bags of pace, and he was taken out by Bruno Fernandes. That's a yellow.
Yeah, super play. That's the challenge of a tired man, Bruno Fernandes. And the guy's just a little bit fresher. The Cuban Onel Hernandez cuts across him.
Cynical foul.
That's another law lads who actually see change, is that yellow card sin bin. A deliberate foul. There was one by young Brooks of Bournemouth on the Portuguese flyer for, say, the...
Easily collected by the goalkeeper, yes?
Adama Traore.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago.
And Jack Grealish has been punished by so many cynical fouls this season. And
45 odd fouls or something against him this season. It's an incredible amount, isn't it?
I think you're adding your voice to a lobby now that wants to see more action for cynical fouling like that.
Yeah, not quite a red card, but absolutely time spent off the field.
Look at Norwich's formation now. Everyone press ganged into defensive duty, including Duda, the substitute, who's an attacking midfield player. At times he's like a right wing back. Aaron's gone in alongside Godfrey and Teti. And United do press through the middle.
They called him a Portuguese flyer, actually, Adama Traore, but he's actually not decided whether he's going to play for Spain or not. He's a Portuguese origin, I believe, but could play for Spain.
Chile had a massive effect on his career, and people won't maybe have noticed this because he's known as a defensive coach, but Tony Pulis up at Middlesbrough transformed his career, worked really hard with him, and Traore would be the first to acknowledge that. And then they couldn't hold on to him, they needed the money, sold him to Wolves.
Yeah, Tony's very good at getting forwards to simplify their game and putting an arm around them and making them feel good about themselves.
Martial here now for Manchester United, and it came off Duda, and that's going to be a corner kick to United for the 10th time in the game, is it?
He's not known for being a coach who allows you to express yourself, but I can certainly say that's the case. I was with him at Bournemouth, and he's good at getting young players to believe in themselves. As I said, as a result, they can then prosper.
Bruno Fernandes with the cross to the far stick, free header. Oh, brilliant save by Krul. Denies Harry Maguire the winner. That's terrific goalkeeping by the man Norwich want to see save penalties in 9 minutes should it go that far.
Flung himself across the goal superbly, did Timm Klose. Yeah, that's a great stop. He's moving that way anyway. He gets both hands to the ball and pushes it to relative safety and then cleaned up by his teammates.
United pressing for the winner. Norwich hanging on. All 10 back. Rashford. Bruno Fernandes and Matic. They've got all 10 outfield players within 30 yards of the Norwich goal. Greenwood, very right-footed, now Pogba cuts it back, chance here for Bruno Fernandes with the hit, blocked by Martial, back to Bruno Fernandes, and the pass squeezed off to Rashford, had too much pace.
Yeah, the one thing in Timm Klose's favour is that he doesn't really get a lot of power behind his header. This Harry Maguire into the ground. It's just a slight jump, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't really get up too high off the ground. As a result, that ball is not really coming into it with any force, but still close enough to the goal to really trouble the Dutch goalkeeper, who saves it smartly.
Rashford has 6 penalties this season, Martial 1. Pogba's missed 3. They'll take one. Bruno Fernandes has 9 successful penalties for Sporting and for Manchester United, for whom he scored 3. United with such confidence at Spurs last week. We go on. We're midway through the second half of extra time. Rashford, Matic, Bruno Fernandes. And again, the goalkeeper got down. It was awkward. It dipped. It bounced just in front of him, zipping up. Forced it away. Softer hands there from Krul.
Yeah, that's a good hit. That's a decent save. once that ball dips down and hits the ground, very often can pick up speed. Once again, safety option, and pushes it around the post.
In comes the resulting corner. It's a strong header away by Godfrey, but who's covering for him at the back now? Greenwood cutting inside. Matic is in support. Pogba. 3 at the far post. Maguire is there, it's looping. All Manchester United now.
He's certainly turning up the heat, but Norwich goalkeeper Timm Klose responding. He's been the busier of the goalkeepers in extra time, JP. That could make a big difference as well. He'll really feel in tune with the match. Seen lots of action, made some good saves.
As Romero only had really the one to deal with, and it slipped through his fingers.
Well, that could be telling.
.14 played. Manchester United beat Rochdale in the Carabao Cup earlier this season on penalties. They went out to Derby last season in the third round of that competition. A checkered record on penalty kicks, but as you say, we've still got 5 minutes to go.
Well, young Jamal Lewis won't thank Hernandez for playing that ball some 10 yards ahead of really where it should have been settling for him. He's filled in nicely for him at left back.
Rashford.
And that is the only real danger and outball for Norwich City at the moment, is the speed and trickery of Hernandez to try and stretch Manchester United. But all too often it's just coming straight back, as expected.
Little dink ball in, looking for Rashford at the far post, and well defended there by Andre Duda in unfamiliar territory for the talented attacking midfield player. Now the referee's seen something there. What's he got to say, John Moss? Talking to Duda and Odion Ighalo. Into the near post, headed away firmly. Shaw made good use of the ball, turning on quickly to Williams. Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw might have a ping from there. Marcus Rashford. Bruno Fernandes had a look. Rashford had made a run into the left of the penalty area. It's aimed in towards Maguire, who's looking for a penalty there. Not going to get it.
He was falling almost before that ball arrived.
Rashford back to Martial. Pogba holds onto the ball so well. Rashford, who won the hearts of so many in the country for his social campaigning during the lockdown. There's a little touch ball off towards Martial. It's not yet cleared, it's in the back of the net, and Maguire celebrates what surely is the winner for Manchester United. Norwich yet again failed to clear a ball they should have whomped away to the stands, and Manchester United profit, and Maguire scores and sends them a step towards the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Well, it's a terrible blow, isn't it, for Norwich City? Such a scruffy goal as well, as you said, JP. Opportunities really to stick a leg in and stab that ball clear. It's so deep, it's hard to be too critical actually, because there's fatigue, isn't it, in the legs of these players. Ighalo gets it cleverly, just clips the ball back in to Martial, making a run that just diverts attention away. And Harry Maguire, who stayed up, the big centre half. Yes, oh, there's luck, isn't it? Off Godfrey, onto Max Aarons, falls nicely for Maguire. He sticks a leg out, he's going to ground. he's more determined than Jamal Lewis. Real eagerness to get to the ball, and that could be the winning strike.
Well, Godfrey and Aarons and Tetty and Lewis all failed to get it away, and Harry Maguire scores for Manchester United. 2 minutes from the end of the game, and it's been a very decent cup tie in the end. Norwich have brought on Adam Ighalo, who's come on, young centre forward you were talking about earlier on, but it's a mighty task for him now.
Yes, he may not even get a touch of the ball.
Jamal Lewis, defender sacrificed. I was just going through my homework of Manchester United FA Cup penalty shootout heartaches. The cup final against Arsenal, the semi against Everton, was it? There's Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, and that would have settled it. It won't go to spot kicks after all. Oh, it might do. It's Williams and Hernandez.
Well, the extra outfield man has really told for Manchester United, hasn't it? They've been able to be patient, and they have done. Give them credit for that. They very rarely force the issue when they've been in and around the Norwich City penalty box, and that's paid dividends for them. Nice little clever ball from Pogba into Ighalo, and I said with his back to goal, he's so aware of what's around him, just using his teammates.
And Maguire has to do the organising for the last few moments, and Romero will settle for that.
Tough on Norwich, defended well enough. I said no clear opportunities that they created in extra time in Manchester United, despite the patience shown, because it's very often the players in training and pre-season throughout the season, they play with a man down, and they're able to weather storms like this.
And how damaging will it be for Norwich to lose another game late in heartbreaking fashion? With the crucial matches up and coming in the Premier League, they need to win to stay up. Here's Rashford. Manchester United's unbeaten run about to stretch to 14. And Pogba and Bruno Fernandes could have had a shot, keeping possession. And Greenwood would hold on to it. His shirt was tugged. Cuts it to Pogba. That's well played, Manchester United. Here's Fernandes. Pogba, the little dummy. Martial. And it's a decent block. It's the final block of the game. And look at the Norwich players. Distraught, heartbroken, as Harry Maguire's goal 2 minutes from the end of extra time sees them through.